Good evening, everyone. This is North Shore Preparedness coming to you from the beautiful shores of Lake Ontario, Canada. And I just wanted to give you guys an update on what was going on with my hosta beds and show you a little bit of the progress I've been making. So I've had a productive day. I was out to visit my buddy Dan this morning, and I brought him a half a dozen horseradish plants because he's got the space to keep them. He's got a nice sunny area with lots and lots of space to keep them. So like, I've got a lot of sun here, but I don't have the room that they need. So I bought 2 plants for me, 2 plants for my buddy GB, and 2 plants for Dan. And as it turns out, I don't have space for it, GB doesn't have sun for it, and Dan has everything going on out there that he could possibly need. So I took the plants out there for him to foster, and hopefully they'll find a good home, and maybe we can all share in the fruits of that. And I also took him out some grape plant fertilizer. I mistakenly bought some fertilizer which I thought would do a job that I wanted it to do, and it turns out I'm not happy with the results. So I took him out the half a dozen horseradish plants and some grapevine fertilizer. So I hope he uses them well. I'm sure he will. When I got there, Dan was he's just re-roofing his place. He's just resheeting his roof with a tin roof. So he's making fantastic progress on that. You know, he's only been a couple of days at it, and he's almost done. So he's going to have himself a $10,000 or $12,000 roof done in like 2 days. You know, with him and his son Noah's labor, and you know, of course, the monetary cost of his materials. So anyways, this is what I've been up to today. Wanted to give you an update on the hosta beds. I've been working at this. I got all the sod taken off the top. I got all the soil taken off. I got all the soil turned up and mixed. I planted. I got my lilies. I planted a bunch of lilies in through here and across the front here as well, all across the front of this one. I put a whole bunch of lilies all in the middle of these two here, and then across the front here. And I also put some lilies back in and over here. Now I had like 3 bags of lily. I'm not sure if they're called rhizomes or bulbs, whatever they are. I had them wintering in paper bags with a bunch of sawdust in it, and I lost about half of them over the winter. So I'm not sure if I took them out too late or didn't store them properly or whatever. I'm no expert on anything, but you know, I got at least half of them back. So anyways, what I did today, I turned the soil over and put the lily bulbs in a couple of days ago. And what I did today was I edged in all of this brick here. I edged all of that in. All of this all the way around here. And I mean, I spent a good few hours doing that. We are on the east side of the building, and I didn't start doing this until about 3 in the afternoon because this is the shaded side of the building. I hardly take the heat anymore in direct sunshine like I used to. So I started this in the afternoon after I got back from Dan and Tina's place, and you know, I got all this brick, all of that put in, and I topped it all with black mulch. I put 4 bags of black mulch in there. Now it is a little sparse in areas, you know. I could use a little bit more over here, and a little bit more here, and maybe a bit more here. But I think it's coming together really well. And you know, this is like, I wanted to keep these hostas. That variety there is the same as this variety over here. They're both huge green and yellow one, the yellowish green ones. This is the blue green one, and I mean, this guy's a monster. He's huge, or she's huge, and her leaves haven't even unfurled yet. So I mean, these ones get giant. So yeah, I wanted to keep those. So this is what I've done with my hosta beds. I wanted to keep these, put them over here on this east side of the building to make room for my vegetables and that. And like, I'll get back a little bit and see how it looks from over here. I don't know. It is a little bit crooked. Like, the ground here kind of slants up that way, so it's not going to be totally level. But I mean, whatever. It didn't really cost me anything. I already had, I've got hundreds of bricks on the other side of the house. So all I had to do was the labor of carrying the bricks around and turning up the soil, moving the hostas, replanting the lily bulbs that I already had. And the only cost I incurred was those 4 bags of black mulch. So, I mean, like, personally, I think it looks really, really good. And sets this side of the house off really, really nicely. And you know, it was almost free, and only took me like you know, in total, a couple days labor. But once the lilies, hopefully, if you know, I stored them successfully and they're planted well enough, hopefully once the lilies start to pop up and they start to flower, I'll give you guys another view of this bed, just to see how it looks with the lilies in it, because the lilies really, really set it off. So anyways, yeah, I took all that out of, I took all those hostas out of this area over here. I've been busy doing things in the garden back here as well. So I'll just show you a little bit of what's going on with that. Here, I'm not sure what kind of little shrub this is, but it's very, very prolific. It was very tiny when I planted it 2 years ago, but it's really doing well. I have some Swiss chard here. There's a little pink flowery thing there, but I have some peppers here. I have my cannabis plants out hardening off. I'll put those in the ground tomorrow. Look at them. They're leaning over. They're like babies, young babies that are getting tall with really heavy heads that want to fall over. Stand up, guys. The sun's gone down anyways. I'll be putting them indoors fairly shortly. But I've got okay, all right. There were some peppers. These peppers here, I had in a tray and I had them outside hardening off. And the wind came up and they blew it off the railing of my porch, and all the heads got knocked off. But I put them in the ground anyways to see if they'll survive, and you know, we'll see what we make of them. There's a tomato. That's some leeks. I had 3 leek plants, 3 cells of leek plants, and it looks like only one of them is going to go. So we're gonna have to check more on that and see how that goes. Maybe get some more. And we got some more peppers over here. There's some carrots here. Oh, this guy is in flower right now. I'm not sure if you guys know what this little fella is, but it has tiny little beautiful pink flowers on it, and it flowers early. I'm not sure what it's called, but if any of you know, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, there's one that grows up here on this trellis I put here, and it has beautiful sort of magenta colored flowers that come out on it. I'll show you those when it's in bloom. And up here across the fence, this is sort of a volunteer. All that, I'll see all these vines here. These are all sort of volunteers that have come in from the neighbor's yard, those are wisteria. And they're absolutely lovely when they flower. They don't flower for long, kind of like a lilac, but absolutely beautiful flowers they make. So this bed here I have empty, which I'm going to plan to utilize that tomorrow. I'm going to be putting in some bean, a yellow bean, and green pea plants along the back of this bed, along this fence, and along that fence right there, all along there, and against this wall and this wall. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be lining those fences and walls with these things for my beans and peas to grow up, because I plan on growing a ton of them. The beans I can very, very well. Canning green peas I'm not too big a fan of. I'll eat a whole bunch of them and then I'll freeze what I don't eat, or share them with others. But yeah, so that's my plan for all across the back of the fences, is to line it with these guys right here. So what else I have in my garden? Oh yeah, it's a mess back here. I've been busy doing stuff. I got more tomatoes here. Some Roma tomato here. More Roma here. I think these ones here are beefsteak. Got cherry here, and all these ones over here. They're all for making paste. These are paste tomatoes. So we'll see how they come out. We're gonna sister up these beds, like I said, all along the back. I'll have my yellow beans and green peas, and across the front of the bed, what my plan is to put things like carrots, radishes, and lettuce across the front. So, you know, this bed is it's almost 4 feet wide. It's not quite 4 feet wide, or a little over a meter for those who measure in metric. And I think I can get 3 rows in here, sort of sistering the plants. So that's my plan. That's what I've been up to, and I've had a very busy, productive day. So what my plan to do is right now is I kind of plan to just sit down and have a fire and enjoy that. So if you guys would like to join me for a fire here for a little bit, we should sort of get that thing going. Let's see what we can do here.